Hello, 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 and welcome to Three Amigos Ink and Splatter. I'm your host, Marie Moldovan, and tonight we're going to have a very special episode. We're going to feature a poet by the name of Dana Siciliano Di Rende. Dana is the poet of the evening and the winner of the Three Amigos Ink and Splatter Leap of Faith Poetry Contest. Dana and a bunch of other poets submitted some very divine poetry to the contest, and it was um, a really tight and very, very hard to choose selection of poetry between many different poets. But at the end of the day, Dana came out the winner, the top poet, and the selection for the Leap of Faith contest. And so tonight she is being featured. Dana is an amazing poet. Um, she is a motivational speaker and a metaphysical poet and a student of life. And I'm actually really pleased to be reading some of her poetry tonight. And I really, really hope you enjoy. So the winning poem that Dana submitted is titled Circles. There are circles that draw you in and circles that cut you out, mental circles of prejudice and circles that frame the heart. There are circles of life that spin a tale and spin it again, whether as triumph or travail. Meaning lies in the circles of planes, encircling and intersecting one another again and again, in a cosmic dance, a music of spheres spinning around onto new horizons of fears, joys, or tears, yet remaining the same. Yet remaining the same in the circle of wonder, you may attempt to flee, to pull the destiny to no avail. You will fail, for destiny will prevail. The circles you will find out in the trajectory of life, the parallel lines seem never to meet, but they are circles in disguise, they manifest each defeat. And victory recorded in the circle of life, you must achieve your destined goal, for in circles there is no detour. You must walk the straight line, the narrow path, to complete the circles of divine intent. From start to finish, the path you pursue is the Mobius line that seems straight to you, but in circles back into multiple dimensions, there are one, and the circle defines you and leads you forward. The mystery lies in the geometry defined by dimensions untold as your destiny unfolds. The logic and the mystery too great to behold, a higher order encircles your life. Believe in the mystery and the circles of destiny as you walk the plank straight into the unknown. Now, that is an amazing poem. And obvious. It's very obvious why it was chosen as the winner. There's a lot of depth in that piece, and I really enjoy reading it. I'm going to be reading some more of Dana's poetry because, like I said, she is the featured poet of the evening, and um, I'm pretty excited to be able to have the honor of doing this. The next poem is titled The Plain Pebble. The rejected stone becomes the cornerstone again and again as the Bible sustains. Look closely. The rejected stone contains a precious jewel other plain pebbles cannot see, because blinded by the reflected light of its beauty and mystery, the despised stone hides the heart of a jewel in its bosom, a stone of great value hidden in plain sight. Hidden in plain sight, beware of your rejecting ways, for the whole worthless pebble you despise is a lovely gem in disguise. The pebble you refuse to openly embrace, for fear other pebbles place you in disgrace, is the rejected jewel you refuse to recognize as the cornerstone of your enterprise. To praise in private, yet despise in public, is shameful at best, and a sorry state to generate. The despised pebble hides a great treasure and brings delight, if only you open your eyes. To your blind plight, beware the rejected stone is destined as a cornerstone in your life to avoid strife. If only you could see into its mystery and share in the delight of its destiny. Wow, that is amazing. Wow. The next poem of Dana's is titled Dreaming It Real. Never, never land, and once upon a time share the dream. The world will be better, people will be wiser, love will be real, kindness abound. What never will be must be fought for. When people are blind, one must be bigger. Where love fails, one must love more. The dream must stand, the dream must stay, the dream is real. Wow. And the next poem by Dana is titled Full Goddess. And I hope I don't butcher it because, it is an amazing piece. Krakatoa, east of Eden, the Rosetta Stone holds the key to unlocking the doors of mystery. Krakatoa, east of Eden, holds the key in a secret language so very old. Trace the carvings, the intricate designs, the mystery transports you in this ancient climb. To ancient times, record in your bones, you have forgotten everything you knew. But the secrets have not forgotten you. The Rosetta Stone within you carved its symbols in your DNA, a double helix. It transports you, determines you from ancient days. Though lost to you through eons of forgotten signs and codes, the hidden language you sense so well, yet know nothing about, except the mystery enfolds you and leads you onward as you try to connect to some lost memory. Lost but not forgotten, fully lost but almost remembered, if you only knew fully. I truly enjoyed that poem. Wow. There's so many layers in it, so many different pieces of information, including the double helix, the DNA, the secret codes, the language, East of Eden. That poem is layered with information, and reading it could possibly trigger a lot of different memories, a lot of information, even inspire creation of somebody else, a piece of art or further poetry. That is amazing piece. The next poem I'm going to read is titled The Spear Carriers. People on stage of your life, the main characters that push you in the story forward. These people, the plot developers, leading figures in the play, on the stage of your life, fully occupy your field of vision, are the close-ups in your mind's eye. In your mind's eye, as the background fades, you acknowledge their pivoting effect on the plot of your play. The spear carriers instead are mere props, unimportant to the plot, placed for background and scenery fodder. They seem unimportant in your play, have few and any lines to say on stage, right? Right? Then why do the spear carriers so often populate and wake up in the mornings with the fragmented and incomplete remains of their faces, repeatedly haunting your dreams before fading away? They were mere scenery on stage, disappointing and dismissed, irrelevant in a plot. Then why? What was missed about their relevance? And you ponder while they play, while the play must go on. You ponder. That is interesting. And the next piece I'm going to read is Time to Love. There's always time to love, isn't there? We have so much warring in our world, so much disagreement, so much anger, so much hate. Wouldn't it be lovely if we could just learn to live in patience and love one another? A lot of our war and aggression comes from the personal conflicts that we have with ourselves, and it would just be a marvelous dream if we could all get along. So the next poem, once again, that I'm going to read of Dana's is Time to Love. Time is tomorrow, and tomorrow never comes. I love you like tomorrow, when tomorrow ever comes. I love you like tomorrow, a hope and hanging on. I love you like tomorrow because today you love me. even more than yesterday, and I thought yesterday was here to stay. Today is poignant with love and memories of yesterday, and so I know I love you like tomorrow in the stillness of time, and tomorrow never comes. Now that is an interesting piece. I love you like tomorrow, and tomorrow never comes. I mean, that could be interpreted many ways. I was to sit here and look at that and be like, I love you like tomorrow, but tomorrow never comes. So do you really love you like someone like tomorrow? If it never does come, it's like this dream you never taste. The next poem of Dana's, oh, I'm so excited, is called Being and Belonging. If you don't belong, don't try to. Just be. If belonging isn't your destiny, let it be. Yours is a different journey, another message, a rarer voice. Trust your mystery, your mission to be the voice in a language you don't even know, for a message you can barely intuit yourself. But the universe knows, and you're part of it. That piece is right on the money. I mean, how often do we spend our lives trying to fit in the box scenario that society paints for us? The 9 to 5 schedule, the American dream. How many of us try to fit into that and are miserable and unhappy? Uh, the reason is we're not supposed to fit in that box. We are individuals, and each one of us has a role to play. We were born, incarnated here to be ourselves, to live the life that we were live our life, and we focus most of our life trying to fit in the picture that other people paint for us, and become miserable, and so on and so forth. Um, just be you. But how do you know how to be you? Because you've been told what to be all of your life. It's like, what am I supposed to be? You get to that point at some point in your life, you're like, well, how do I know what I'm supposed to be? Well, scrap everything that's made you unhappy up to this point, toss it in the garbage, and go from there. The next poem of Dana's is called Smoke Dreams. Reality is crystal firm, like etched glass, so clear, defined, precise, like the glass in Tiffany's lamps. Like stained glass windows in the churches, reality cuts through to you. As much as you can absorb, as much as you can bear. Its sharp edges, its precise etching. But in the swirling varies of dreams and visions of hazy smoke and floating clouds in these vague, ever-shifting shapes, you see the stories lying within you, unfold beyond you, slowly taking shape before you gaze as you ponder, mesmerized, emerging patterns that sweep you beyond reality into that other reality, the other world where dreams tenderly enfold you and do not cut. Wow. The layers in Dana's poetry is amazing. Dana, you are an amazing writer. You never cease to amaze me. Every time I read your poetry, I just find myself engulfed in layers of imagery and information. And it's like there's so much layered within the small lines. It's impressive. The next poem is Love Unearned. Everything received in life must be earned. To eat, a job, to soar, a career, to learn, a degree. Fuel time to burn must be earned. The shoes for feet, the house to buy, must all be earned. Everything owned in life is bought and paid for, has a price. To the end, whatever the market will lend, even trust must be earned. To endure with friends, and in many ways the market is perfectly fair, a solid bargain, a fair return. Blood, sweat, and tears, as it were, in exchange for meaningful years. The blessings of prosperity and for comfort of needs fulfilled, everything acquired in life. On this living, breathing planet is bought, paid to the limit, as a price that must be rendered everything but love. Love is a gift. Love is when real is given freely, not bought, not paid for. Love has no price. Love, priceless, a free gift in life. Manna from heaven. Love lightens burdens shared. True love expands joy to those around in widening ripples like a raindrop onto a pond. The rippled waves reach the shore for love, increases and multiplies, adds smiles to life. Love is free, not earned. Love is given, freely received, an unearned blessing. But to progress as love, love must be deserved, not earned, deserved. The more received, the more must be given, and the love is sufficient unto itself. Life and love are one, both unearned gifts. Mysterious, necessary. Love makes everything worthwhile. Life and love are one, and all that really matter. That is a truly masterful piece. It brings forward a lot of information and paints a beautiful picture. The next poem is Life. Life is not a problem, so enjoy the ride. Life does not demand solutions, so look for explanations. Life does not necessarily add up, so recognize patterns. Life is more than the sum of its parts, so recognize cause and effect. Life is more and less than your expectations, so stay your course. Life is patient, so be alert and stay until the end. Life will teach you a lesson even years after your mistake. So connect the dots. Life isn't fair, so play fair anyway. Life can have long-term consequences beyond what you expect, so tread carefully. Life can change your life in a moment or a second, so be ethical and don't take life for granted. Life teach that it is better to be good, so be at peace with your conscience. Life is slow to exact revenge, but the price is always paid. Life does have consequences, so be careful what you do. Life is not a problem to be solved. Life is full of not knowing, so stay true to yourself. Life does not inform of the day and the hour of your life's end, so make every moment matter. Life does not always show you how each story ends, so continue to be kind. Life does not always show you the effect of your actions, so trust the good you will do will have an impact. Life does not reveal when love will appear, so never give up or who it will be, so be open to change. Life does not tell if you will succeed, so do your best, or how long success will last. So do your best. Life does not easily reveal the hidden motives of others, so be observant. Life won't inform you of who will betray you, so watch the signs and trust your instincts. Life won't easily reveal if someone really loves you, so be vigilant. Life is not a problem to be solved. Life is a mystery to be lived. That is amazing. I mean, it can inspire, this poem alone can inspire so many different thought paths and so many different ideas, and it touches on many things that can bring forth many different questions. I mean, the fact in her poem, she says, life won't inform you of who will betray you. You know, one might have the thought, maybe life does inform you who will betray you if you watch the patterns and the signs. Because if you do pay attention to the patterns and the signs, you might find that they point to who will betray you and who will not. But if you sit there and you ponder the question, and you're always sitting in mistrust and calculating the actions of everybody around you, seeing the signs and taking note and being obsessive with it. Life passes you by. So there's always the give, the take, the how you want to spend it, and just spend your life the way that makes you happy. And try as you will to cause no others harm in your pursuit of happiness. The next poem of Dana's is titled The Dreams We Had. The Life Story Cars. The dreams were full of premonition and intense direction. Someone always at the wheel of a vehicle, navigating life's story, maneuvering, negotiating the road, stressing about where one was going and how to get there. In the dreams, the great importance to reach the destination. Your dream and mine and his, and so full of premonition, yet all declined to listen. Mother, who dreamed that a passenger on a bus with her own mother, she felt certain to encounter a terrible, terrible disaster. If she remained a passenger on the bus, an unavoidable certainty, unless excited. The doomed bus, she saw the window, she opened the window, she could jump out, save herself by going through it. Granted, it was an unorthodox exit. Granted, she could divorce, but her mother, her traveling companion, too traditional to accept the unconventional escape, unknowingly made divorce not an option. Her mother could never maneuver through that small window, and so she remained on the bus, accepting the inevitable. She could not leave her mother. She would not. And the bus crashed fatally. Her marriage continued, but shattered. Yes, of the dreams of we three, mother, myself, and he, who too instead dreamed lucidly in daylight. While on a freeway drive on a sunny Sunday, he fancied an earthquake splitting asunder the cement highway ahead, while I also simultaneously imagined tidal waves sweeping along the freeway towards us, ready to carry us away. We both envisioned a fatal calamity, a disaster, the true sign, the premonition that as a couple we were doomed, and indeed not well. And it ended soon, and not well. I saw myself driving a car, my life story car, to odd destinations and difficult situations, with many obstacles to overcome. In our dreams, we were driving the metaphors. For our lives, driving the metaphors for our lives, the wheels turning, carrying us into the futures, all of us in control of our choices, but none of us in control. None of us in control of our baggage, and therefore none of us in control of our destinations. We should have heeded our premonitions, but we could not and did not. So here we are, in consequence, already foretold. If we had only known. If we had only known. Wow. I mean, how often do you have a premonition, an inkling, a gut feeling that you ignore? I mean, sometimes, they can, when you have your intuition in play, sometimes it can get construed with your emotions if you're reacting based on past trauma. And sometimes if you learn how to separate some of that, you can get a clear picture. But how often do we ignore our intuition, and then when we have the capacity to, separate the emotion, how often do we ignore that and then find ourselves in trouble? Quite a bit, I think. The next poem is titled The Night Rose. I saw you walking down the sidewalk along some random street. Perhaps it was in Rome, and it was night, and you were walking alone towards me. And soon we would meet and pass each other in the street. You were very young with your youth's beauty. As I was, and the summer evening was sweet, I watched as you approached me, drawn to your mystery, you holding in your hand a single fresh red rose. Your hair dark and was curled well, and you were so white and pale in your little black dress and heels. You were elegant, dressed to appeal. The evening was still young, I remembered, and full of Italian Roman romance. and it was summer, a night to dance. Yet here you were, already done, walking alone, fresh from some romantic meeting. And he had given you the one red rose, yet tears were falling silently down your face as you walked, staring and seeing straight ahead in the night, as if in trance. And you walked as if in trance. In your deep sorrow, you passed me by without seeing me, but I saw you so clearly. I saw you so clearly. Before you walked slowly by in your trance-like stupor, in your silent shock, your tears wetting the rose. Just hold on one moment, please. I apologize for that. I might as well start that poem again. Oh boy. The poem is titled The Night Rose. The Night Rose. I saw you walking down the sidewalk along some random street. Perhaps it was in Rome, and it was a night, and you were walking alone towards me, and soon we would meet and pass each other in the street. You were very young with youth's beauty, as was I, and the summer evening was sweet. I watched as you approached me, drawn to your mystery, you holding in your hand a single, fresh red rose. Your hair, dark, was curled well, so white and pale, and with your little black dress and heels you were elegant, dressed to appeal. The evening was still young. I remembered, and full of Italian Roman romance, and it was summer, a night to dance, yet here you were already done, walking alone, fresh from some romantic meeting, and he had given you the one red rose. Yet tears were falling silently down your face as you walked, staring unseeing, straight ahead in the night as in a trance, the tears unheeded as you advanced. Walking in the evening, expressionless in your deep sorrow, you passed me by, without seeing me, but I saw you so clearly. Before you walked slowly by in your trance-like stupor, in your silent shock, your tears wetting the rose you held in your hand, I wondered. Did he give you a single red rose to apologize? And you cried silently? Did he give you the red rose to say goodbye because he was married and so had a wife? And yet kept the secret until tonight? And you didn't know until just now in the luminous light? I tried to imagine what could cause this lonely evening walk, you all elegant, your face pale, and your eyes so wide. And the rose and the tears, nobody saw you but I. I followed you with my eyes as we passed each other. In the street that night you walked in your bubble of tears and mystery's silent trouble of intense feeling and suffering. Today I might stop and ask you if you were all right, but I too was very young with sweet passivity of youth, taking in, not reacting, wonder and awe, the baseline still of our lives. There you walk slowly and alone, dressed up in the dark, elegant city at night, your tears flowing while you were holding a red rose. And I don't know why, but I can't imagine. I apologize for that momentary break and then having to read the poem again. It is what it is, and I hope you excuse me for that. The next poem that I'm going to read of Dana's is called the metaphysical poem. The Fibonacci spiral evolves from the circle. I have said it before, and will day it once again, as it is about circles and their circular planes. Any direction you pursue, you will get to the point of origin in a circular plane. Any direction you pursue, you will get to the point of origin in a circular plane. A circular trajectory will take you home again. so you can live your life in hindsight again and again. It is a necessary step, but once you begin, know when to desist, or you won't resist to dive into a deja vu without end, in a closed circle again and again. But the Fibonacci spiral allows you to escape the circular plane every now and then when you are ready, really ready to begin. The mysterious lines that intersect circular planes break free from the pattern and commence the outward spiral to your perfect self. The spirals spin, expanding their connection forever unwinding. Like a grapevine, the spiral extending, attaching, attacking, all connecting a spiritual zone, neither ending nor commencing, but always connecting from plane to plane, creating everything, every being in its formula. For all beauty, for every flower, every leaf, and every human face, the closer the spiral symmetry corresponds to your face's geometry, the more perfect, the more divine its beauty. You know what I mean. You really do. The lines draw you in, and these spirals push you out to who you are and are meant to be. Yeah. Yes, let the spirals push you out to who you are and who you're meant to be. Become. Become that person. Let yourself free. Let yourself just be. Go with the flow. I mean, really, can we really go with the flow? Because there's so many bumps in the road, so much interaction. Yeah, well, I think we can enjoy it as much as we can, anyways, in the moment. That was a beautiful poem, Dana. The next poem I'm going to read, and I think it's going to be the final one, is Chaos Theory, The Candle to the Flame. In the quiet of the night, lying upon his bedding, he lay the tip of his cheroot to the top of the candle flame and reflected upon the path that had led him to the cabin in the woody plain. And he reflected upon the glowing, tremulous candle flame, and upon the chaos and turbulence surrounding the same, a memory flesh from his university days, chaos in the flame, turbulence in the shimmering air, disarraying the flame like the turbulent path that had led him. Yo, this cabin burned into his memory, the flight from chaos and turbulence upon losing his great love, his own lovely lady, to a colleague who had been his friend. His work then became meaningless in the end, as he had flown the chaos and the turbulence of his lost passion, fled to the peace of the plains, to the hidden cabin, and to the woman lying beside him. Sweet in her simplicity, he smoked quietly in the dark until the spark within the cheroot consumed it entirely, as was he as well by the fire in his own immolated heart. He lay the bedside table and blew out the sputtering candle flame, and in the darkness of sweet-smelling cut heather he turned in his bed to embrace her, the substitute object of his affection in his substitute life away from it all. And I think that is the final poem I'm going to read for this evening. I planned on reading more, but I'm actually feeling kind of under the weather at the very moment, so I apologize for cutting this short, and I hope that I did Dana justice in the reading, because once again, I believe her to be an amazing poet. She is a truly amazing poet, and I very much enjoy reading her poetry in Three Amigos Ink and Splatter. And I am blessed and honored by her submission to our contest, Leap of Faith, and I am very proud that she was the winner of the contest. I thank you very much for tuning in and listening, and once again apologize for the one point where I did have to stop, and we had a little bit of dead air. Life is life, and that is life, and I thank you for your patience, and say good night and bless you all and love you all and ask you to take care of yourself and love you for who you are. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.